Okay, here's the thing. I'm doing a New Girl rewatch, and in the New Girl rewatch, I am on the episode with Julia versus Jess, okay? So it's Jess and Julia is the girl, the lawyer that Nick dates for a hot second in season 1, who we really never see again after she breaks up with him by giving him a plant, which was a very, very confusing storyline, but also very, like, New Girl of it, okay? But here's the thing. In this episode, Julia does not like Jess, and Jess does not like Julia. Julia is not a dessert person, and she literally says to Jess at one point, if I acted like you at work, I would literally get laughed out of a boardroom, which is just very something that someone in any Elle Woods Legally Blonde movie would say to Elle Woods, you know, because Julia is a lawyer, and that's like her first thing that she would say to a woman who acts a little girly, of course. But the thing is, I wanted to go onto Reddit really quickly, as I do sometimes, to hear other people's thoughts on characters, so I can, like, see how they all feel about, like, the storyline. Oh, hi!
Hello.
I'm filming. You have terrible timing.
Is it off a second?
Can it wait for 2 seconds and then we talk? Just go there for 2 seconds. So I went onto Reddit and I was like, okay, let's see like what people are gonna say about Julia. And I should have known what people would say, because like I always go on really hoping for a better world and a better society than we have at this moment. Like I will go on community talk and I just want to know what people think about oh my god, why do I always forget her the character name? Sherry's character. It doesn't matter, okay? And I'm expecting people to not be racist about this Midwestern or Californian black woman who's very, very Christian, but of course what people are when they discuss Sherry? Not Sherry. When they discuss, the woman in community goes and spreads gossip and is very, very passive-aggressive any chance that she gets, all that jazz. What I get, instead of people just discussing how stilted her character is by season 2 and how they never do any of the really interesting things that they could have done with her in earlier seasons, so we don't have that many like episodes where she really gets to be like a full character. She becomes a caricature of herself, which you could say everyone in community does. But instead of getting to see that and see like real discussion on these characters, what you instead see is racism and sexism. So I went on to the New Girl Talk to see what people would say about Jess and Julia in the episode, literally I think titled Julia, where Jess and Julia, who are just two very different women, have to merge worlds for a second because Julia is dating Nick and Jess is roommates with Nick, and Jess needs Julia's help with like getting out of a ticket, and Julia judges Jess from the get-go, but Jess also doesn't give her much of a choice in the earlier parts of the episode, because she forces dessert on her when Julia's just like, oh, I'm not really a dessert person, and she forces a blanket on her, which in Jess's mind, because again, Jess is an autistic female character, in Jess's mind is maybe something where she's like trying to be like, oh, let me like show you my respect, let me like show you, like get you comfy, because I like being comfy, so I'm assuming you might like being comfy. It's not her trying to like force these things on her, which Julia learns later. But in that moment, Jess is then asking Julia for help, and she's being the silly, goofy Jess that we have in season 1 before she slowly but surely starts like kind of becoming more herself as the show goes on, which I think people really miss in the show. Jess's growth goes back and forth, but in a very realistic character style way, and people like don't see it because they just don't understand that you can have character growth that is back and forth and is like still remaining yourself while being a stronger, better, bigger person. But the thing with the Julia of it all is I just wanted 2 things on Reddit, okay? I wanted people to say that they were like annoyed with Julia at first and later on went to appreciate her character a bit more, which sure, people said that, okay, they said it. But they also said 2 things that I hated, which is that she's a pick-me, or that she's not like other girls, and that she started out as a pick-me and she started out as not like other girls, and she changed, so like maybe that's okay, but she was also just so brash and so awful, so I hated her anyways. And my issue with the phrase pick-me and with the phrase not like other girls now is that people are using it so willy-nilly anytime that they don't like a woman in society that it's just tossed out like it's nothing. Like it's just nothing. It's tossed out there and people are immediately like, oh well, she's not like other girls, you know? She's a pick-me. These were things that were initially kind of used in books, and in books you really want to discuss, like, you know, yeah, that character isn't supposed to be like other girls, which in 2006 I guess was fine, but now sucks. But in 2006, when we discussed the not like other girls girl, people would be annoyed at the girl who is like other girls because that's what society wanted you to be. So now, instead of going, oh, she's not like other girls and then this person is like other girls, and like showing that both sides can happen, people are just mad at the girl who's not like other girls for not being like other girls, which misses the point and is very frustrating. And also the other thing that I wanted people to discuss when it comes to New Girl and the Julia and Jess episode is how they did manage to show each other a lot of respect even while they were not liking each other, even while they were being bitchy and catty and awful, like in certain pieces. But B, that Julia and Jess are identical. Okay? If you smack bangs on Liza Kaplan or whatever her name is, and you smack a cute little 1950s style dress on her, you're telling me that they wouldn't look absolutely identical? Because they would. She literally talks about all of Jess's characteristics and features as if they're a whole part of Jess's personality and why she is the way that she is. And Liza Kaplan, Janice Ian has the giant blue eyes, and she has side bangs instead of full frontal bangs, but she has side bangs, and she has the same jaw structure, and she has the same doe-eyed look. It's just that hers are a little harder. She goes a little more like she's not widening her eyes, which is just Jess's resting face. Instead, her resting face is slightly more resting bitch face, so she's more. And because of those two features, she's immediately like, oh yeah, we're completely different. We're completely opposite. I have no respect for you whatsoever. You have this whole shtick, you have this whole spiel, this whole thing, and I don't get it, but maybe some people will fall for it. So like, maybe I can help get you out of this ticket. And it's so mean, and it's so awful, and she has character growth by the end of the episode, and I really like that she has character growth by the end of the episode, because they so easily could have made it so that Jess and Julia just never got along, never talked, didn't like each other. And instead, there's this character arc for both of them of growth where Jess stops feeling like she has to apologize for herself, but also stands up for herself and is confrontational, where the entire beginning of the episode, she's not being confrontational at all. And that is what makes Liza Kaplan's character actually start wanting to like get to know her better, because she gets called out, and she needed to get called out because she's so used to dealing with lawyers. And Jess is a teacher in elementary school. It's just, I'm so sick of the phrase not like other girls being used to describe, or like pick me being used to describe women who are just like living everyday lives and trying to survive in a society that is actively going against women at every single turn. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. I'm exhausted. This is me. Exhausted. Okay. Goodbye. Good night. I film now on my YouTube and on my phone, so that's why I'm never looking in the same place at once. Okay, anyways. Love you. Bye!